Okay, so we are live. Hello to all of the fans of business analysis and all of the participants of our event. Today, we will learn why and when it is necessary to review design of business processes, what this affects, how necessary to approach correcting the problem areas of the business process, and what consequences, situations, and mistakes can have. I'm passing the stage to our speakers, Dmytro and Oleksandr. The stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Volodymyr. Hello, Oleksandr. Hello, dear colleagues. First of all, you're very welcome, as usually, to our business analysis community club. Yep, and our event and our BA project insider event. This is our final August event. Next will be in September, and we in our past, we conducted a couple of events with a great expert, head of business processes optimization department, director in Ukraine IIBA chapter, Oleksandr Moskalyuk. We were talking last times about the sense of the business processes. What is the business processes? What kind of the architecture we can apply to the business processes management in business processes management approach? What are the main challenges? How we should work? How we should describe business processes, etc. And this is the right time to continue our conversation on the topic that related again to the business processes management area or area of knowledge, a practical area. And we want to find out when today, we want to find out when the business processes redesign is needed, how we should do that, what kind of the issues, challenges, approaches we need to we can face the ways and we need to implement in that during that actions, etc. And we just want to again share this information, share this piece of knowledge with you, dear colleagues, dear BA fans, and not only BA but IT fans, just in short and laconic way. So 30 minutes discussion, 2 experts, and when we're going to share our video recording, our streaming recording, in social media channels, please find the one-pager helper for you as usual. So let's do that. One more time, I want to introduce Oleksandr Moskalyuk, great expert, more than 20 years of experience in IT, in automation, business processes, automation area, financial management, a lot of valuable and very honorable certification in business analysis, as you can see. Of course, speaker at international and local professional events, author of the different content, and mentor for the BAs. Oleksandr, one more time, you're very welcome. Please add something else about yourself.
Dmytro, hi everyone, Dmytro, hi, and thank you for having me here. Again, you know, when I'm looking at this side and this slide, it looks like different persons, so yeah. When I read about myself, it sounds like I'm too clever. But anyway, I have more than 20 years of business process optimization and automation, and this is my favorite topic. So let's dive into our topic and talk about process optimization.
Let's dive deep. Let's do that. So some of you guys knows me very well. Some of you probably meet with me and my activities first time, but I am strongly convinced in that fact that any kind of new knowledge going to burn on the edge of different areas, different technologies. And my personal credo, I like to share this knowledge, this experience with you to make our BAs and IT life better, more efficient, more interesting, and more pleasant for all of us. So again, some kind of reminder about our standard. of the meeting and the first case. So guys, let's think together when we need to review and change business processes. And the main conditions in that case for all of us are the next. Actually, everyone, I believe in that fact that everyone was in situation or in just had the cases in his practice when the company or team inside the company just faced with declining performance situation. Yep, found a lot of gaps or breaking the rules and provide a lot of silos for different reasons, yep, inside the processes. Actually, when you're feeling the significant business shifts and you need to be adapt with your technologies usage and trying to be competitive to the threats. So when we need to resize or size grow opportunities inside the company, when we need to resolve some different issues and cases on like inefficiency, yep, redundancy, departmental silo, etc. So a lot of things, a lot of cases when we just were stopped by not such efficient or probably not so good actions inside the different processes in our professional life. And that was crucial for us. So what are we going to do with that, Oleksandr?
We will define processes and optimize them.
Exactly. So we can say that we need to implement the process approach. And I think that the main accent in that will be not only the processes approach, I mean total processes approach inside our team organization, but based on weak signal concept usage. Am I right?
Yeah, we can use weak signal concept usage to define where the problems are or challenges are in our processes and start from there, of course. And we should keep in mind that the best approach is to have a business process management system in all the company, but it works for separate departments as well. So just find the best place to put your efforts and start working from there.
And how we can do that? How we can do that in practice? From what point of start we should just go forward?
Again, it really depends on the context of the project or company. But anyway, there is different ways to define where you can start. First, you can start from the department or process where all the participants or of this process or actors are ready to help you with process optimization. On the other hand, it can be most cost not efficient process, so you have most of expenses there, or just it's not so efficient that it slows all the company, all the processes. Or it can be again the process that you selected with it happens, of course, with management, and you decided you will start from here.
Okay, that's great. But I think that we can, yeah, that is great things that you just highlighted for us. But let's review our challenges, yep, that we discussed previously when we were preparing for this event. And I think that you agree with me that the first challenge for us will be to define and use an efficient tenets of process management in practice. That means that we need not only the process managers or just managers who are going to implement the processes, they need to know the tenets and they need to act in alignment with the tenets that they are defined for their work, but also this information and knowledge should be shared in outside the team, yep, on organizational level. So from your practice, how are you going to share the knowledge about the tenets in process approach for other people in company?
Again, it really depends on the context of the project, but anyway, you should keep informed all the stakeholders here, as we know from the theory of business analysis. So this way, you understanding who are the stakeholders on what level of the process management, you start working with a team that will be involved in this process, but also you should keep informed other departments, all the people in the company. And it's really important because first of all, you can get some insights from other people while informing them. So it can be some instructions, can be letters, can be presentation, can be workshops. It can be different types of tools you can use to inform them, to share information. And still you should listen, because you can get a lot of interesting information from people or places that are not that were not defined as main stakeholders for the process.
Okay, so we can assume that we need, for our guys, we can assume that we need to keep informed all related our colleagues or people, just involved people. So we going to interact with them, we forward them with an information, and we need to hear their voice. That's great. That's great piece of advice. And the second challenge that we potentially could face with in such class of cases is creation or modernization of the system of simple and clear process metrics usage. I mean, when we implement or when we implementing or implemented some kind of processes in our activities, in our work, or just not for the whole work, but maybe for some major part of our work, and how we can monitor how we can monitor these things, how we can just support and understand that is are our processes just efficient or not. Maybe some kind of your practical piece of advice for our colleagues, what kind of metrics we should use and why these metrics should be simple and clear.
So this magic metrics,
Process
metrics.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you start with money. If it's end-to-end process or it's money generating process or cost process, you can calculate cost of the project of every step, etc. But often you work with the processes that not directly, they don't have. So for example, we're trying to prepare some document, or we just reading or discussing something, we defining something, etc. Anyway, there are people involved in this process, or there is some equipment or systems involved in this process.
Exactly.
And you can easily define time spent on this process from the number of people, and calculating their hourly rate, and you have the cost of every step of the process.
Okay.
Other thing is there is two, I would say main advices you should keep in mind while defining process metrics. First of all, of course, it's good to calculate everything in money, but you should understand if it's needed, and also the costs to calculate the metric should not be higher than metric itself. Results from metrics itself.
Exactly.
Try to find some clear and simple metrics that will help you to, first of all, check and analyze current process before optimization or changes or something, and then so you will have a baseline to compare, and you will understand if you have what is going on now, and what will be happening after you change the process.
Yeah, awesome. Because if you guys want to think about the metrics, as Oleksandr mentioned, of course, in business is a game. And we need to estimate everything in money. Not everything, but we're trying to estimate in money, because all of the companies just go and provide the activities for the profit. But in any case, if you're going to estimate some kind of just the level of satisfaction or just time, it's all these kind of metrics also could be transformed somehow in money equivalent. And that is also great for us, because we need to don't forget about that any kind of the measurement need to have some kind of universal basis. That is also very, very important accent for us. So time, money, efforts. Yeah, this magic triangle. And we have one more challenge in that case, also to provide an ability to work by needed rules for people, employees that are involved in process. I mean, how we can help them, not push, but help them to act strictly aligned with the new rules that were created by processes.
Education and training, of course. So,
Yeah, universal silver bullet
yep.
for
So
all of.
you should prepare at least some simple instructions for each actor in each participant in the process. Of course, it's good if you have enough resources to provide some training for them, show them situation, explain. It's very important to explain people why you're doing this, because often
Mhm.
people are afraid of process optimization because they think that in results they will be fired or something. So
Mhm.
you need to explain them that they are still a valuable part of the process. So and they can do something else, not mundane tasks, some or something else. So
Yeah,
again, education and trainings and information.
education trainings. Yeah, sure. And we have one more tricky question from our audience. But what we should do if the trainings are not such efficient, for example? How we can manage this situation, how we can cover or resolve such kind of cases from your
Uh,
practice?
We should again we should understand why. So what's happening? Either our training or materials were not sufficient or easy to understand, or we need to get some other approach for people, or people just not motivated to learn something or study something. And
Okay.
in each case, you have some other, yeah, different approaches how to solve this problem.
Again, root cause analysis, guys. Don't forget, root cause analysis is our all. I mean, business analysts know that very well. And based on the results of this root cause analysis, you should correct your actions. So that is great. That is awesome. I think that first case is clear for us. Let's go forward. And in second case, guys, we're going to talk about what should be taken in account when you are changing the processes. That is also very, very usual and very, very actually just regular situation in our cases. I mean, in work cases. So the main conditions will be there. I think the next. Yep. When we go in to understand where we are or what we are doing, yeah, and we need to understand, we need to clearly realize that we are doing the right things on the processes level, we can use the next, I think, not the KPIs, but effects that should be monitored and controlled. So the first effect, and that is a natural effect, because our processes consists from our actions. Yep, I mean our actions overall. I mean people, technologies, machines, etc. And in that case, increasing of efficiency and productivity of our actions, eliminating bottlenecks, reducing waste, streamlining actions, etc. That is a natural effect because we are changing something to make something better. Cost reductions, for sure. Businesses overall is over about the money, yeah? Always about the money. So improved customer satisfaction level. I mean, not only the external customer, but internal customer, because it depends what kind of processes we're going to change, yep, on what level. And of course, enhancing the level of adaptability. So fostering a culture of continuous improvement, that is very, very usual and very, very actually known things for all of us, the culture of continuous improvements. But what does it mean in practice for us? Yep. And we also need to be aware about the effect of better employees experience. Yep. It means that overall our organization, I mean people inside our organization, they increasing their level of knowledge and experience. that's going to make our again work efficient and more productive. But what kind of approach we need to use to just reach out these effects of that modernization of the business processes? Oleksandr?
Anyway, we should, of course, as we talked previously, inform people. Yeah. I want to first add some other small thing to the conditions that we should all this stuff just check if it aligned with business request. Because yeah, we should check with the management if what they really want. Because anyway, you can spend a lot of time working with people, but sometimes the approach won't be accepted by the management. So just before, check everything, but then go on. Define how you can educate your people and go on with some trainings, information, instructions, observation. Maybe just sit with them and help them do something. Very often it's very efficient technique to observation. Yeah, active observation, when you're just trying to do something, you explaining something to people, but also checking if everything works correctly. Of course, you need to understand the quality changes on different levels. You should understand the what changes in quality of process of work of this employee after with your what your changes here mean for the changes for the quality of employee everyday tasks. Yeah, because of course people will be afraid of any changes, of any new system, and you need to explain them that they will get something better, they will be able to do some more stuff, or maybe more efficiently do their everyday tasks. And of course, just control the changes, control results. So control how your changes affect process, people involved in the process, and if it matches with your expected results. And yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, and of course, the third part, yes, for any, it's you should have some estimation, of course, when you start changes, because it's very often that you come here and say, okay, we will do process optimization, but when you will end this process optimization, oh, it's internal process, yeah, you will do it here all the time. So anyway, it should be some chunks of work. Yeah, you should understand your milestones, what you're going to do first, second, next, and it should be clear not only for you but for all people involved in the process. It's very important to keep them informed, so they understand what is going on, why we are doing this. Yeah, often when you just perform process analysis, people are not ready to tell you everything. A lot of questions will arise when you start changing the process. And it's important when you keep people informed, listen to them, you will get a lot of insights and you will understand what you do next just to improve the situation, but it wasn't clear when you started.
Yeah, that's great. That's great accents. And I just want to add a little bit more here, because yeah, education is a very, very cool thing in our work, because everyone need to be aligned with the concept of continuous improvement by themselves, yeah, as a professionals. And they need to go forward with that concept of that philosophy, I think, of professional growth. But acting by example, that is very powerful thing, guys. Please don't forget to do that, with not by your own example, but the example of your team. If your team is responsible for some kind of changes that you need to implement inside your organization or project. Yep, and I think that we also need, we should not forget about the tech techniques and technologies. Yep, as Oleksandr mentioned previously, we need to think how we're going to do that. Yep. So let's think before we're going to change something. That is also very important accent, because all of us could be under pressure of the project circumstances, business circumstances, just some kind of requirements, changes, urgent cases, etc. But please don't forget to spend some time to think about the needed changes and what kind of techniques and technologies, as for business analysts, as for IT professionals, could help you on that way. So don't forget about that, and think about this twice or maybe 3 times, or whatever quantity of time that you need. And I think that we have one more question to you, Oleksandr, just about the implementation of the change management. Yep, in your organization. Do you have some kind of separate change management specialist? And what, if yes, what is the role of this guy inside your team and organization?
No, unfortunately, we don't have, because all our processes are building up rapidly online, and because of this, we could, we always doing changes, and changes often comes to us, and we need to adapt and act on these changes. But if you have stable project, you have old company, of course you will have some stable processes, and you will need a change management team or team that will champion changes. That will analyze efficiency of the processes and explain and suggest what we can improve.
Yeah, exactly. This is very popular case. I just want to support you in your answer here, as also because change management specialists, they are crucially important for the big scale projects. Yep, for the big scale organizations, etc. It's not about the team. It could be yes, for sure. We could have the core team of change managers, but actually we need to scale this it's work, I mean teamwork of change managers inside our organization on different levels, on different directions, etc. So this could be huge organization inside the company. It depends on scale, as you mentioned before. And thank you very much. And we have the third case for us. So process automation. Is it a silver bullet for every case in reality? And we have 2 conditions here. The first one, process automation as a platform to test new approaches and ideas. I am a fan of this idea, of this thought, and aims to reduce manual efforts, minimize human error. Yeah, for sure. We are going to do that automation in that basis, and enhance the overall efficiency of the processes operations. What kind of approach? I know that you are a fan of the 3 pillars of successful automation strategy as approach, but what is that in reality?
We can talk about process automation, I think in another 2 or 3 sessions. Yes. But, taking into account that we are running out of time, I think that process automation, first of all, should meet the real needs of the users and employees. So it's not automation for automation. It always should reduce manual effort. It always should minimize human error, enhance efficiency, etc. But still, we need to balance these 3 pillars. We need to balance, understand people's and their skills and competencies. We need to understand the current level of processes and how we can we automate them or not, and how we can do this. And of course, we need to understand what technologies we can use for all this stuff.
it's also it always balance. I agree with you, totally agree, because we have different teams. We have different mature level for different teams. We have different mature level for on technology in technology area between different companies, teams, etc. And that is crucially important to find the golden middle, that we can say in that question, and balancing these capabilities of people and capabilities of the technologies and processes where we are acting. Also, we can say about create the separate responsible process automation team. Yep, I know that for every case this is preferable option. Am I right?
Of course, because anyway, automation with processes it's not a process, and just combining it with everyday operational processes very complicates the task. So there should be a standard SDLC approach. You should define requirements. You should set up, develop them. You should show them, test them, and then just implement. But if you're doing this in parallel with your everyday operations, you will have just internal cycle. When you changes, you don't understand what is going on.
Yes, exactly. So responsible process automation team, this will be the second challenge. And the last one is define the leaders of changes that you mentioned before, educate these leaders and involve and support their work. I think this point is about motivation for the changes agents. Yep. So that is great. Guys, we covered all three cases, 30 minutes pure discussion. Thank you very much, Oleksandr, for such great insights. Yep. And our cooperation, as usually, it's a pleasure for us. So guys, don't forget to visit Oleksandr LinkedIn page. Just subscribe on his page, on our pages that you can see on the screen. So our channels in social media, YouTube, VR community, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, OrgBA community, EPAM, just going forward with us and you will get much more value in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, dear colleagues, guys. So see you next time with the next topic. Thank you.
Thank you.